Union Elementary School District. The agenda has been posted. The first agenda item is public comment. Superintendent Culkeen, are you able to see if there's anyone here to make public comment?
Looking to see if there's any hands raised. Not seeing any. If there is anyone, they've done you.
Okay, so moving on to agenda item 2, I would entertain a motion to table agenda item number 2, the approval of the minutes from the last time.
Oh, second.
Thank you, Scott. Can I get a second for a motion to table the minutes? Thank you, Dick. I just think I want to jump right into the budget meeting, and we can approve those minutes at our next regular meeting. So all those in favor of tabling the approval of the minutes, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, the motion passes, and we have tabled that. So that brings us to the budget review. And so Director Gordon, the floor is yours, please.
Okay, so we have draft 3 that Amy posted this afternoon. I will pull up. Jim, can I share my screen? Very minor changes from draft 2. They're I'm going to say it was about $13,000. I think just maybe a hair under $13,000 I've shaved off. So with some known personnel changes for next year, I tweaked some of the benefit amounts, so there's a reduction there. And then also took kind of reallocated some money that we had within the existing district-wide SVUESD facilities budget and allocated that out to support and actually put in budget lines where we're going to be spending for Beach Street. Right now, bearing the costs at the SU level, but looking once things continue to kind of evolve, probably assessing some costs back to Mount Anthony if they end up sending students to that facility. And then if we find that there's a special education component, the SU could kick money back, but just the fact that SVUESD owns that building. So I've allocated out costs for electricity, heat, trash removal, and janitorial services. So that was just a small tweak. So going from I think early again, 2.86 was draft 2. I think we're down to 2.81 now. So those are really the only changes from draft 2. And then I'm just going to jump right ahead to the tax calculations because over the weekend I worked on the Mount Anthony budget and they had some decrease in their special education costs, but also applying their fund balances has drastically shifted their budget. So when we blend those together with the existing SVUESD budget, the outlook looks quite a bit different now for the member towns. So this is Bennington, Shaftesbury, and Woodford. So Mount Anthony meets tomorrow, and if they approve, so I mean, a lot of what you're seeing in this shift is really being driven by the Mount Anthony budget, and I think they were looking at a 7% increase, and now it's below 1%. So I suspect that they'll probably be okay with that. So this is probably a more accurate representation of what the tax rate calcs are going to look like. But for Bennington, Pownell, and Shaftesbury, they look like decreases, assuming that the property yield doesn't decrease, with the legislature vote later on in the session. Woodford right now is just shy of a penny increase for next year based on the current budget. that you have before you. So with that, I'm happy to take questions, but just wanted to cut to the chase because there wasn't a whole lot that I changed. And again, the biggest shift and swing is due to Mount Anthony and having to blend their tax rate with the SVUESD.
So are there any questions for Director Gordon? Okay.
Oh, Chris, are you there?
Chris,
Mm-hmm.
you froze for a minute.
Okay.
You just came back.
Okay. So direct, Renee, what
It was a very
language do
nice
you need?
headshot while you were frozen.
Good. I bet. What language do you need from us in a motion to warn this budget?
It's essentially the total expenditure budget. $27,167,856.
All right. So I would entertain a motion to warn a budget of that expenditure amount just detailed by Director Gordon, please.
Move to warrant $27,167,856 budget for fiscal 24.
Great. Thank you, Dick. Could I have a second on that, please?
Second.
Thank you very much. We'll call Shayla. Any discussion?
I thought.
Okay. So after two
Made out
information
better.
sessions.
I'll start, just Chris, quick.
Jeff had his
Yeah,
hand
yeah,
up.
go ahead, please.
Jeff had to say.
Just one thing, in the future, if we could justify why we want these positions increases. I mean, we have 5 paraeducators. I see they're for safety concerns. If we just back up this information with some type of documentation, whether it be referrals to the planning rooms or things like that, I guess, the Vermont Digger article talked to why we need them for safety concerns based on, police being called to the school. But I think as a board, we have to look at that for these positions, whether it be for, the math teacher and things like that. Just having data to back up the reason for these positions, I think it's important. So that's the only thing I'm asking for next year. Just have that done. Thank you, Jim.
Yep.
And it doesn't need to be super detailed, just, basic numbers.
I understand. Yep.
Any other questions or comments? Okay, so we have the motion on the floor. All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye and raising your hand. Aye.
Aye.
Okay, any opposed? Any abstentions? Yep. So we have Jeff is abstaining.
Yep.
Sandy is a vote against. All the board members present have voted in the affirmative, so the motion passes. All right, so that exhausts our stated agenda. Director Gordon, thanks so much for all the work that goes into this. Yeah, Renee, please go ahead.
Can I ask a question? So the next piece is I will get the warning together, and then we'll have to have a meeting to approve that warning, and then everybody can sign it. But in terms of the floor meeting,
Right.
we have been operating the past couple of years in this remote environment. I was thinking that we would be going back to all in person without that remote option.
March 6th.
It does kind of complicate things a little bit, but that's something for the board to discuss. Like, how do you want your floor meeting to go? And then we need to decide where we're having it and at what time. Previously, we would have it at the Bennington Firehouse when it was just the Bennington School District.
Mhm.
When SVUESD formed, we were going to rotate amongst various schools or towns, but now that we have this facility, I don't know if that changes.
Scott has his hand up, Chris.
Go ahead, please, Scott.
I was just, there are a few things that came from the pandemic that I think were actually a little bit better and easier for more involvement. But a floor meeting such as that is fully remote it does make it so people can join from all across the region from the comfort of their home. However, I guess I'm only thinking of the people that have access to computers.
So we have to offer a physical location now.
Okay.
So you could offer here as a physical location with it, just like these meetings, with the Zoom access for anybody who can. So you would have a physical, you announce your physical location with the Zoom link.
So
We come here.
do we know what the MAU board is doing with their?
Not yet. They'll meet tomorrow.
So, I mean, so it strikes me that whatever we do should be, that the MAU board and the SVUESD board ought to be doing the same things. And if we can, I certainly don't have an issue as long as the facilities at the firehouse have the capacity to do a Zoom, which I believe they do. They've been doing the select board meetings like that for months and months and months at this point. I would have no issue with there being a physical location at the firehouse, a physical presence by at least one board member, that being me, with a Zoom option for other board members and members of the public.
I
Can
don't,
we-
I haven't participated, or watched a select board meeting, but I know that Cat TV is there and
So we,
gives them that component, but I don't know if they
I meet
interact.
with members of the select board at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, our, bi-monthly meeting with select board. I'll inquire to what they're doing and what their capacity is for the public to join, and see what, no, I'll
Okay.
get back to you, but
Yeah, I don't think they have this
Yeah.
kind of.
I don't think they have this set up.
Okay.
They have this room.
So is this board required to take official action on naming a place, or can that just be a decision made by the board chair?
It'll be in the warning, so I'll need to have a decision to put that in the
You
document.
make the decision on where these meetings are now, so I would say that you would have the ability as chair to make the decision where your board meetings would be, because you could tell us that we're gonna meet at the high school next month. And that's, as long as we announce the location and access to that location.
Would it be your recommendation to have?
So how about we do this, just to make sure that what was that, Scott?
I was asking if it would be Jim's recommendation or his recommendation to have the meeting here at this facility.
That would be my recommendation.
I mean, it makes, I take it back.
So somebody's listening at home and just told Renee that they don't have Zoom at select board meetings, so they use something different. So
It's Mike from Cat TV.
thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
From Cat TV. So,
So let's do this.
a system that we're so comfortable using
Just
is right
so
here.
we're all above board. Mhm. So just so we're above board, I would entertain a motion to empower the chair to make a final determination as to where the budget meeting will be held.
No move.
Second.
Thank you very
That
much. Any
works.
discussion on that? Okay, so the motion on the floor is to authorize me to make that decision just in case there's something that require a formalized board motion by the board. But if you empower me to make that decision, we'll get it in the warning and certainly we'll spread the word amongst this board. So there's a motion on the floor. Any
We'll know
further
by this
discussion?
time tomorrow night or a little later what MAU is gonna do and then.
All right, so there's a motion on the floor. All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, the motion carries. So there we have it. All right, so we will be in touch with the board members soon as to where the meeting is going to be, and then we'll have the language for the warning. Great. Okay.
And that would be Monday, Monday, March 6th.
No
Okay,
meeting in
great.
February?
Did you hear that?
I did not.
Inquiry whether there'll be a February meeting.
No, there will not be.
We'll just have to do one more special probably next week for approving the warning.
That's no problem. Okay, very good. Thanks everyone for making the time tonight. And all right, take care. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chris, do we have to do the notes or are you not doing that? Just a consent agenda? Were you postponing that till next meeting?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Now
so our
make
next
a
regular
motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Jeff. There's a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Second.
Very good. I almost closed with that without officially closing. First and a second, all those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
All right.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, now we are adjourned.